morning, beautiful people. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy, and I feel damn good this morning. Yesterday, and if you just tuned in today, this is LoveBabz, Love Talk. I wasn't around yesterday because I was sick yesterday, Harry. So when I talked to the doctor yesterday, he just said, your body's just getting used to a foreign object in your body, and that you take a lot of pills. I take a lot of pills, Harry, because I have to take a lot of blood thinners so I don't have blood clots because of this new hip. This new hip. I have I'm almost bionic. I'm like Wolverine. So, so I was sick yesterday, and I felt really bad. So I'm good this morning. I'm up. I'm dressed. I put on real clothes. Like I'm not in lounge clothes. I'm not in jogger pants and I have really nice lounge clothes because when the pandemic started, I bought a lot of lounge stuff because I knew I was going to be in for the long haul, and then I knew I was going to have this surgery. But now, I mean, the surgery didn't. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Like it's not a long drawn out thing like I thought. I thought it was going to be weeks and weeks and weeks of me just like, this is like week 4 or something, right? Week 3, and I'm like up and driving and doing my thing. So anyway, I feel good this morning. And I got up this morning, I took all my meds. I was up early, and I haven't taken any pain meds this morning. None. I have not taken any pain meds this morning. So I'm very pleased by that. Is that your breakfast, Harry? Is
Yeah.
that is Karen home? Did she make you breakfast?
Yeah, Karen's home.
Oh, she is. So she made you breakfast. You got pancakes.
I got sausage, egg, and cheese on a bagel.
Oh, okay. Uh-oh. Are you been a bad boy? You didn't get the pancakes? I know she made you some pancakes. Uh-oh. What you do?
Now, for me, it's the French toast. I don't
That's
like
what I mean.
pancakes.
That's right. The French toast. Oh, the French toast today, Harry? Oh, shoot. Karen? Wasn't Karen, whatever it is, forgive him, Karen. He sometimes he just how he is, Don't give my man his French toast. So anyway, Harry, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day on Ivy.
In your video settings, if you go to video settings, there's
Mhm.
a adjust for low light.
Oh, I will do that. Where do I go? Oh, to my camera.
Yeah, the video settings. So if you
Oh,
go,
because I have low light, right? I'm
yeah,
in low light. Ah, I love all this technology, Harry. Between you and my sister, I just be right.
I'm gonna have to
Uh,
shut off my camera to eat.
okay. Do what you gotta do, bro. All right, I don't see it. Let's see.
So you're in settings, right?
Yes, I'm in
If
settings.
you if you go to
Oh,
video,
I see it. I just wasn't paying attention. There we go. Is that better?
yeah, it's a little better. You could go up a little.
Well, it's on auto, Harry. So
Take it off of auto and pull it up.
manual. Oh,
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. Oh, there we go. Is that too bright? Because the light behind me?
yeah, it's a little too bright.
Yeah. Thank you, listeners, for enjoying our tech conversation. We
Like,
do what we can while we can for the good of the station, for
so
the good of the people.
I'm here, Babs. I'm just shutting off the camera to
That's fine,
eat.
Harry. Harry. I could go. You know how I do, Harry. Okay, I think that's pretty good, Harry. I don't think I need. Is it too bright still?
It's pretty good.
I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. So, so anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. So Harry's eating. That's why he's walking. But for those that are listening, he still can't talk. Did you shut off your audio too, so we don't hear the yum 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 yum?
No, I'm here, but I might have to answer with food in my mouth.
So the Yukon girls didn't win, Harry. I went to sleep.
No,
And I woke up and it was some other team won. I was like, what happened? And
You
then I
know what?
realized, you know what,
Them
Harry, they can't win all the time. They have to lose. Listen, you UConn crazy people, they cannot win all the time. They've been winning for 20 years. I'm just saying.
you know, is they were led by freshmen, right?
And those freshmen were these freshmen. I don't know where to get these freshmen from, Harry. These freshmen are boss.
I
Like
know,
they come out on the floor like they juniors and seniors. I was
but
like,
they
these freshmen.
actually in that championship game they actually played like freshmen. They let the game come to them instead of them forcing the game.
Oh, I didn't watch the game. I went to bed just thinking, it's gonna be fine. And then I woke up and I was like, who the hell won? What happened?
Hmm.
But you know what, Harry? It's a new team. UConn has a new team. And their coach, he has an eye for talent and he's gonna build this team up. So, next year, Harry, next year is gonna run the next 4 years, these girls are just gonna win. Just win, win, win. That's just what it is. Although I do love the upset with the men's NCAA. But you know what's going to happen for me, Harry? This is when I know I'm going to enjoy college basketball. It's when I see HBCUs make it into the NCAA and
Hmm.
win. When these black kids stop going to these white schools and they go to the black schools because the black schools will have opportunities for them to go straight to the pros too, like other schools.
Hmm.
Then you'll see some winning. I mean, I love that Deion Sanders has taken over the football team at HBCU because that right there is pretty big, and he has revitalized. They're building all this new thing on this particular HBCU campus, and I'm so impressed. And he's got a lot of friends uh, in football who have come to his practices and are helping with this team. So yes, he's at Jackson State University, uh, and I'm telling you, now if this is not the winning year, next year, the year after, he's going to build a fine football program for Jack State, and you watch. So goes Jack State, so goes the rest of HBCUs, and some of these retired football leaders and players, they're going to want to look closely at coaching an HBCU program. That's what I want to see happen. I want to see it at the football level, and I definitely want to see it at the basketball level. And then I'm gonna tell you something. It will give these other schools a run for their money. And I tell you what, another thing too, our kids at HBCUs will be graduating in higher numbers than they do at these white institutions. Because white institutions, I'm not convinced that they are graduating our students. I'm not convinced that they have our best interests. And I could be wrong, 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 but I just don't have any faith in that. I believe, I just feel like, and people always, have their, well, these talented kids, they ought to go to the pros and make their money. I want to see my kids go to the pros, absolutely. But you know what, Harry? I want them to get their degrees too. I want these kids to walk away with their bachelor of arts or bachelor of science or whatever it is that they. I want them to walk away with that because I just feel like that's important to us. It is important to their families. It's just an important, and white kids never are told, well, maybe college is not for you, or college is not the thing for you. You never see that. Nobody's in Westport talking to those Westport High kids about, well, maybe you want to go get a trade. They're just not doing that. You're not hearing that those kids in Greenwich and Westport and all up and down that 95 corridor of richness. They're not hearing these conversations. Nobody's going into those schools talking about maybe you should consider the military. Maybe you should consider a trade. And I'm not knocking a trade. Listen, I'm a graduate of a trade school. I have a diploma in culinary arts. I was a working chef for a good part of my life. So I'm not knocking that. And before I was a chef, I was in electronics because I thought I was going to be an electronic engineer because I like science. I'm a science head. But I was an athlete too. So it was hard for me to do electronics and athletics at the same time. So I fell behind. So I had to make some decisions. And so I was fascinated by culinary. And I really thought I really should have went into culinary first. That should have been my first choice. But I just felt like I was chasing a different kind of thought. But I ended up in culinary, which was good for me because I enjoyed the richness of the program. Um, but and so I'm not knocking technical schools because I come from a vo-tech background, as do my sister, as does my youngest brother, and a whole host of friends. Um, so I'm not knocking that. And I remember when I was looking at colleges when I was in high school, and my guidance counselor said to me, "Why do you want to go to college? You got a trade." he said, "What? I don't understand. Why did you go to a trade school and then you want to go to college?" And I was like, um, um, "Yeah, I want to be a doctor, and I, I I I don't see any problem with me doing that." And so everybody thought that that was strange. When I went home and told my mother, well, the guidance counselor was like, "Well, maybe I don't need to consider college." And my mother, my mother is the opposite of me in a lot of ways. You know how I'm just loud and bigger than life, and my mother's a very sort of quiet. My mother's very stealth. She
Hmm.
didn't do a lot of loud talking. My mother was very, she had a very serial killer tone, right? She didn't raise her voice. If my mother raised her voice, you knew you was getting your ass kicked if my mother had to raise her voice. So if you heard her raise her voice a octave, it's over for you. So my mother didn't. My mother's a very sort of powerfully quiet woman. So when I went home and I said, "Listen, they said, blah blah blah, no college, don't think about it, just keep working in the kitchens and cooking." My mother got dressed in her good work, got out her work clothes, took time off from her job, put on her good clothes, and if my mother told us all her life, all our lives, if I have to come to school to deal with you for some mess that you did, it's over for you, right? But this wasn't anything that I created. This was something that was being created around me. So my mother got dressed, and in those days we didn't have a car. So my mother got we had to take two buses to get to Eli Whitney from where I lived. I grew up in Church Street South. So my mother would catch the bus downtown, and then she would catch the bus to Eli Whitney. And the bus didn't go all the way to Eli Whitney, let you off on Dixwell Avenue. And you had to walk like 4 or 5 blocks down the hill to the school. So my mother did that. And she came, and it wasn't a hardship. I mean, it was a hardship that she got off her job, that she took time off from her job. But she came there, and she met with the principal, and she met with the guidance counselor. And let me tell you, by the end of that day, not only did I have my financial aid forms and a book of all the colleges and the book of colleges, because they didn't know nothing about his HBCUs. They just gave me a book of college. In those days, see, there was no computers, Harry. So you'd have a big giant book of colleges with all their information in, and where they were, and all their profiles, how many students, what they required, how much it cost, where they were located, what their ratio of graduates, what how many black kids or and other kinds of kids they had there. And so I knew nothing about HBCUs until I don't know how I learned about historically black colleges, except I heard it somewhere, and I went to the public library downtown. The public library downtown had a book on historically black colleges, a big giant book, and I checked it out of the library, and it was one of these reference books that you could only check out for, I don't know, like you could have it like for a week or something, not the normal 3 weeks you could keep a book. And I took that book home, And I poured through that book. At that time, when in 1981, and yes, in 1980, 1981, there was 43 historically Black colleges and universities. And I poured through every last one of them every single night before I went to bed. I poured over every one of them, and I would write down the ones that I thought. And I didn't know anybody who went to a Black college. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything at all. I just sort of I talked to my grandparents, and my grandparents knew of Barber Scotia College, and my grandparents knew that um, uh, 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 Mary McLeod Bethune went to Barber Scotia College, and my grandmother was enamored of her because she was a Black woman who came up in the South, and she was she talked to presidents, like she had audience with the president and all that kind of stuff, and she went on to found Bethune Cookman in Florida. So my grandparents were enamored of that. I fancied Spelman, and because it was an all-girls school. My mother sort of frowned on the all-girls school because my mother was thinking, you need to find a husband too. So my mother thought, she was like, there's no men at this school, but she didn't understand that uh, the school across the street, Morehouse, and then Clark Atlanta, and then the other Morris Brown was all within walking distance, right? They were all so there were plenty of men, but she didn't know that. My my sister actually 3 years behind me ended up going to Spelman because I really wanted to go to Spelman. I really wanted to be a Spelman woman, but my mother was like, I don't know about that, you know. So we settled on North Carolina because my grandparents died. Both of them died before I got opportunity to spend time with them. But my uncle and his wife lived in South Carolina, and then I had relatives. My aunt Rose and my cousins Den and Denise lived in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and my cousin Denise went to oh God, where did she go? My cousin Dennis went to Winston-Salem State, and my cousin Denise went to North Carolina Central. So that put me in good stead, right? Because North Carolina, we were all down there. So I went to Barber Scotia College, which is a small, historically Black college in Concord, North Carolina, which is still open. It was shuttered, but they are on the rebound. Oh, and this is good news. And they've gotten their debt forgiven. So the doors to Barber Scotia College are open. They just had a homecoming, and it was virtual because everything is virtual. I didn't get a chance to come, but I was invited. My chapter that I pledged invited me to come and be a part of the conversation about what it meant to pledge in those days and that kind of thing. But I didn't do that either because I'm not ready to have that conversation. But I went to Barber Scotia, and it was the best possible thing. But you know, so I say all this to say that college is an amazing experience for young Black people because it gives you those additional 4 years to grow you from high school to the world. And I think we forget that that is critical because those 4 years of 18, 18, 19, 20, 21, those years you still need to be incubated, you need to be cared for, and your brain is still developing. And if you could get in an academic setting where you are, I tell you, I learned so much about culture. I had a professor. I had in my freshman class. There was mandatory things that you had to take, and part of that was arts and culture. Black people are fancy as hell. Arts and culture, and this brother who was like a Mike Tyson lookalike kind of guy, was the teacher of arts and culture. And so I learned in that class opera. I learned the Negro anthem, the United Negro anthem, lift every voice and sing. Like I had to learn that, right? Because I had no way of knowing that here in Connecticut. No, there was no way I would learn that. Um, so I learned about operas, arias. I learned about jazz, and that made me. I knew something about jazz because my uncle Lonnie, who was in the military, would send me jazz records. He would send me Coltrane and Miles Davis and Coleman Hawkins, all those, all the greats, right? So I had an ear. I loved it. But when I went off to college, it sort of fine tuned it. So those 4 years were critical to me becoming an adult. And so I think, and I'm not saying that we should be babysitting kids through college. No, 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 no. No. Now there might be some kids who might not be college material, but I don't know if you know that until you put them in an environment to see what they can do. Because you can always withdraw and pivot and do something else. Um, and I had an amazing 4 years. I cannot complain about the education that I got. And I went as a science major because I thought that I was going to go to med school. And when I got into college, I got swept up in arts and culture. I got swept up in theater. I got swept up. Oh my God, I got swept up in so many kinds of things. And then politics. Um, politics really won me. I was in North Carolina, and I remember there was a Klan rally in Charlotte, and my mother sent word through an attorney friend that called the campus and said she is not to participate in any protest off that campus. And I remember the president, Mabel Parker McLean, was the president of my college, and she sent word to have me come to her office. Now, she was an imposing woman. I've never that she was my first introduction to an imposing woman. She really was. Outside of my grandmother's, she was the first woman outside of my family who was an imposing woman. I mean, a woman of presence, and just you just knew when you were in her presence that she was running everything. So she sent word to have me come, and she sat me down and she said, "Listen, your mother sent word through an attorney, a prominent attorney here in Charlotte, to have you sit out this protest that is happening in Charlotte with the Klan." And she said, "I know the fire in you." She said, "If you find yourself in Charlotte, um, don't say you have not been warned." And that's all she said to me. She didn't say don't go. She didn't say. Now I know if my mother heard that conversation, my mother would have been mad because my mother would have wanted her to say, keep this little black ass on campus. But I think Dr. McLean understood that protest is at the heart of every young activist, and that's what I was. And so I went to Charlotte and I've never seen anything like it. I in my whole life, and to see these people in these hoods and the whole drapery, the whole thing, and it was amazing. But they were outnumbered, like outnumbered, black and white together, outnumbered them, outnumbered them to the point where they felt like they had to pack up and go, and they did. And then a block party happened because you got that many people, a good ass block party got to happen. I say all that to say that I want for every young person to have that experience of going off to college. And if it's not for them, you'll know within the year. I say give it a year. First, second semester, first, second semester. By the end of the second semester, if you feel like this is really not for you, then okay, withdraw. But I do think there is something to uh, being collegiately trained and collegially inclined. And so I don't buy that every kid. I think every kid should have opportunity. I think that's my point. Every kid should have opportunity. That's what I really want to say. That every kid should have opportunity. That's what I want. Um, um, yeah. And so I frown on these conversations with people about, oh, I mean, there's so many other things that kids could do. I mean, listen, I'm enamored of the Holberton School here in New Haven. I'm enamored of it. I went to visit it last year or the year before, and I'm enamored of what they do over there and the teaching model. I mean, there are all kinds of ways that people can learn, and they seem to have figured out a structure and a concept that is turning out students that can code and I mean, just do all these amazing things. And they're often students that people have written off, or students who haven't been able to find their way, and then they find out that they have an aptitude for this kind of study. And I went over there to have a conversation with them about how could I get reentry students in this conversation. How could I get reentry folks in this conversation? And it's a hard task because it requires some money. It requires a commitment of money, because these, reentry folks, once they come out, um, they've got to find jobs, and they've got to pay their way. And the Holberton School requires a full-time endeavor, and and they don't have money to, they're not raising money to finance things like that. So, it would take a community to finance. And all I want is 2 or 3 reentry people to give it a shot and see what they could do, and put in all the supports that's necessary, a stipend, a livable stipend, so that if they have to pay for rent, they can pay for rent. If they have to pay fines and restitution, that it allows for some modicum of that. If they have to make child support payments, a little bit of money can go to that. I mean, everything can be negotiated. You can work out things. You can say, you know what, until I get on my feet, I can pay this every week. So that's the kind of thinking we have to do if we want to see some change in some of these communities. Because what happens is when these people come out of prison and they come back into community, the very communities that they've alienated, burned bridges, where else do they get to go? And oftentimes they may find themselves back in harm's way. But if they had something else to do, some other hunger, some other divine intervention, I think would go a long way. So I'm not lost my interest or appetite for this continued conversation with the Holberton School. I've enjoyed them so much, and I've talked about this in different places with different people. I think now I just have to circle back around and see, how much it would take. Like, what would it take? How much money would it take? Because these kids graduate from Holborn School and get jobs. They start $175,000, $150,000, $125,000. I mean, come on. Do you know what that'll do for somebody in a impoverished community? That could lift their whole family and neighbors out of poverty. So so I have to circle back about that. Circle back. But the Holborn School is unique, you know. I hear the conversations about the reinvestment in Vogue Techs. Yes, we should do all the things. I don't like the either or concept. It should be all the things. All the things. We could do all the things. We're bright people. I think we could pitch to the outer banks of the universe and see where we end up. I'm for that. I really am for that. So yes, enough of that. I've made my appointment for tomorrow to have my first vaccine shot, and then 4 weeks later I'll have the second one. My daughters and I are going tomorrow to Naugatuck to have our first shots. I was trying to get on the green today, but they were booked because I wanted the Johnson & Johnson one shot. Now, if you know me, you know I have a compromised immune system, which makes it um, impossible for me to have a vaccine, like the flu vaccine. So I never get those because I have a compromised immune system. So it creates a bad allergic reaction. So my doctors had this conversation with me about, and there's a lot of people who are in my situation that I know who have this same debilitating um, milk protein allergy. So I'm not the only one. There's other people that we know of in and around town um, uh, who can't. But anyway, so my team of doctors, I have a team of doctors. I have a cardiologist, a pulmonary specialist, an internist, a podiatrist, and now my surgeon is on this team. And so they were trying to figure out how I could get this vaccine. And then there was some talk about doing it while I had surgery, and my surgeon was like, "No, I'm not feeling that." I was like, "We know, she'll be in the hospital if something goes wrong. She's already there. She's already in the hospital. We could deal with it." And my surgeon was like, "Not on my watch. I don't like that." So, but the thinking is, they feel better if I did have the vaccination, because if I get milk proteins, and milk proteins for me is like a key that opens up my immune system to anything that is out there to flood my system, my immune system. Like it doesn't, my immune system would not know how to stop anything out there that I could catch. I know it sounds freakish, but that's what it is. So if I drink milk or have cheese or lactic acid or anything that's from cows or goats, milk proteins, or my body becomes like a Pandora box, and it opens up anything out there I will be susceptible to. So they feel like if I got COVID, I wouldn't survive it because I have so many of the comorbidities, right? I'm obese, I have high blood pressure, and I'm diabetic, and I'm 57. So I wouldn't survive. This is what the team said. It was like, well, you wouldn't survive, point blank. So I was like, so it's like, we like you. We just feel like just get the shot, so that if you do, if Pandora's box is open in your immune system, you won't die. You'll have a fighting chance. Or they seem to think I'll have a fighting chance. So I was like, okay, I'm with that. I'm with that, Harry, because I don't want to die. I'm not ready to die. I'm having too much damn fun. So I'm ready to go. So I was like, figure this out, team. So I'm going to do it. Now, I get this shot tomorrow, Harry, and I fall down dead. Well, it didn't work.
Yeah, all of it is scary. It's crazy. You know, all these days I'm trying to determine whether I'm having side effects or whether it's my allergies.
It's probably both.
Because like right now I feel kind of spaced out. I've been getting a lot of headaches, but
But this pollen season is really bad this year too, Harry, because we
yeah,
haven't had enough rain to tamp it down.
yeah. So I'm not sure if it's just all my allergies. My eyes feel strange, but they always do around this season.
Well, see how you feel. See how you feel after the weekend. Once it rains Sunday, if it washes away enough of the pollen where you see a difference.
Well, I'll be 2 weeks away from the first shot this Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I should be good with the side effects and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, people say well, what I understand, most people the side effects show up with the second shot.
Yeah, with the second shot, it gets worse. Or Anyway, I'm just hoping I'm not putting it all in my own head. So
Yeah, and that's pretty powerful. I mean,
yeah,
that's very, our own minds are very powerful things.
yep.
So yeah.
So it could be a whole. I I got so many things, so many issues. The not sleeping and headaches that happens with me. So yeah, never know what exactly it really is. But I'm not feeling sick. I don't have any fevers, any colds. Um, so I'm good.
Well, good.
I
I
can't wait
mean,
to
it's
get the second one already. Get it over
well,
with.
I'm going tomorrow at me and my daughters, Margot and Brianna, 120, 130, 140
Yeah, Karen got her
in
second one.
Naugatuck.
Karen got her second one, I think Friday, and she's doing good. So hopefully it's smooth sailing. Paul got his second shot
Oh, good.
last week. He was actually in the office. I'm not sure if he was there yesterday, but he was there Tuesday.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Was he
we
work? Did he do a show or he was just
no, he was working there. I was there too.
Oh, you went in.
Yeah, we were. So we didn't know each other was going in, but we both were working there on Tuesday.
Okay. Darn. Well, I was out of commission yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to clean up and reorganize that studio because they painted,
Oh yeah, you did say that.
so it's extremely dirty. I didn't feel like cleaning it Tuesday.
Yeah, well, you didn't go in with that in your mind.
Yeah, yeah,
So when you go back, you'll be like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do when I go back.
yeah. So,
So are you thinking of going back in?
um, I'm shooting for June, but it won't be 5 days.
This is what I told Paul because I know he wants to go in because he's no intern. I was like, don't go in and don't go in every day.
Yeah,
Go in, go in once a week or something. When you need to meet with the interns or whoever you got to meet with. There's all. I mean, the beauty of this life is that the rules are whatever you want to create. Like you can create the experiences and the way to work. I mean, if I've learned nothing about the pandemic, because remember Harry, all these places to say to their workers, oh, you can't work from home. You're not doing that.
yep.
And what happened? The pandemic hits, everybody has to work from home. And guess what happens, Harry? Productivity is out the damn roof. They were like, oh shoot, people work better when they're not in this space.
Well, right. I mean, that's the thing, right? So if I start going to the office, my day is gonna be over at 4 o'clock. I'm not gonna bring home stuff and do, like I'm working all the time at home.
Yeah,
But if I start going to the office, I'm not gonna work all the time. That's insane. Now I'll be, I won't rest at all.
yeah. No, you won't. No, see but this is the other thing. This is the other dark side of the pandemic. There's no boundaries
Right.
to your home work life. So people feel like they can work all hours of the day and night, and people can address you all hours of the day and night. Whereas, with the workspace, there are boundaries to that, and
Right.
that's a little challenging.
And
You
it's
know.
it's totally different because I could do more production stuff. Now that I'm home, because I spread out my schedule is whenever I want. So if at 10 o'clock in the evening, if I want to work, I work. I do videos and slideshows for certain shows that ask for it. If I'm in the studio, I don't have that freedom. So all that
Right,
stuff is gonna go. I'm
right,
just gonna
right.
do shows. So
Yeah,
it's different. It's different, but it's there's a learning curve here. you know, going back is how do we eliminate um working at all hours of the day and
Well,
limit.
I mean, I think people just have to just realize, and I honestly think people are starting to put boundaries on that. At least I know that I am. I am not up trying to coordinate with people about this show all hours of the day and night. I'm not doing that anymore. I was like, listen, if I get you during the day hours, fine, but I'm not up at 11 o'clock at night texting people and, well, what is your schedule like and when can you do this? I don't
Yeah.
want to do that because I think that serves no one. You know, that serves no one. But I do like the flexibility of being able to sort of do this. I love that the way that we pivoted and didn't miss a beat of doing this radio show. Like people can hear us on the radio because people tell me all the time, "Oh, when I get in my car, I hear you, and I drive and blah blah blah." So I love that, Harry, because I'm home. I'm in my house. I'm home. I'm doing it. I'm not like racking up parking tickets because they get mad at me because my car is parked. You know, for too long on the street. I was like, I hate that mess, you know.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? That traffic in the morning and that traffic in the evening. That's part of your workday. you know, I'm telling you that um 91 traffic in the morning, and then I don't even want to get on 91 in the evening. So I take the back roads to get there, but that adds time to my thing. But it's I prefer it not sitting in traffic, and stuff like that. So all of that is part of your workday.
Yes, it is, Harry. And
Yeah.
I just don't want to, you know, I
And
don't
then
want to,
and then for us, it's a totally different thing because it's getting in the morning and having to deal with the building issues too, whether the elevator is working, whether this, so
oh no, I
that's
got
what.
new, I call my new hips the Tinas. Well, when I get the other one, it'll be the Tinas. So right now it's just Tina, like Tina Turner,
Yeah.
the
So
Tina.
so that's a totally different issue. It's like, what? The elevator's not working.
I know. So
Uh,
yeah, I mean, I think there's opportunity to just create the kind of work situation that makes sense, that continues to grow the station and the listenership
yeah.
in a way that makes sense. I actually like working from home in a weird way. Although I do miss the studio too, because I love when we had music, like when I could do the virtual DJ. Like I miss that, Harry, very much, you know. But other than that, I maybe I commit to come in like doing my show one day a week from inside, like just for Motown Monday or something. Like I would just come in for Motown Monday, and then the rest of the week I'm doing this.
The only problem with that is that Facebook took that away from us too.
Oh
So
yeah, that's true, right? And so I can't really kick it.
you have to be off of Facebook to do it.
Yeah. Well, then I wouldn't mind that for one day. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that for just the Monday, right? Look how we working this out. Like I wouldn't care about a Monday, but then the rest of the week it'd be fine. Or at
Well,
least, or at least the first hour of Motown, first hour of the 2 hour day,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like
For
yeah.
for me, I'm planning on bookending the
Monday, Friday.
the week at home.
Oh, like being home Monday,
Because
Friday.
yeah, Monday and Friday, because those are my heaviest days, and it's easier for me um doing it the way I'm doing it now. The studio actually gives me an extra workstation, so I have a lot of things right now, a lot of balls being juggled, and so I'm gonna be down two computers when I go to the studio because the computers over there are dedicated to stuff.
Hmm. Okay.
So
Well, I'm reading the New Haven Independent right now, and I'm looking at Elica Du Bois Walton raised $190,000 so far, Harry. 69,652 in 3+ weeks from over 400 donors. That's Karen, Dr. DeBose Walton. $120,000 in 2+ months from more than 600 donors. Karen DeBose Walton uh, Tuesday reported raising the former amount so far through her exploratory committee for a run for mayor. Incumbent Mayor Justin Elliker reported raising the latter. So Justin raised 120. So they released their figures. The first quarter ended on March 31st, and so they're trying to raise as much as possible by the deadline. So neither political figure is required to officially file their first quarter fundraising paperwork with the SEEC until April 10th. So okay, so
I
Justin has raised $120,000.
I think I saw Elika campaigning, right? He was
Is
in
he?
well, he was in Fairhaven trying to get people to take the vaccine. So for me, that's campaigning because
Well, no, no, that's not campaigning. He's a mayor. He should be doing that. He should be walking the streets with the medical team
I think
talking.
that's campaigning to me. But
It's not campaigning. That's what you're supposed to do. If your mayor's not on the streets during this time, there's something's wrong. So I listen, I'm no
he's
fan of
working
him,
the Hispanic vote.
but I applaud that. Well, listen, it's not so much about the Hispanic vote. It's about the Hispanics need to get vaccinated because they're the
That's
ones that
true.
are starting at the high end of the totem pole of death. So, everybody's got to get a knock on them doors for those folks. Y'all need to get vaccinated so that you can live long and prosper. So he's got to be out there doing that stuff. But Karen Walton was out there too. So was a whole bunch of other people out there. I mean, she lives in Fairhaven too. So that's her community. Kiko Matos was out there.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, there's
saw.
a whole contingency of people who live in Fairhaven that are out there trying to help their community and their neighbors care and be committed to getting vaccinated so that they can live long and prosper. So I am for that. He should be doing that. He should be doing that. I mean, he can't help that it's a campaign
It
season.
should come. It should come with something, right? So you should get something with your shot.
Like what? You get the sense that you're
People
gonna
love
live.
free, Babs. People love free. You give them
Well,
something
I
free
heard the pizza places are giving pizza, Harry.
with your vaccine card.
I think so. You get a slice.
Oh well,
That's
that's
bad.
a good thing.
My youngest daughter Margot, her job, when they show their vaccine card, they get a gift certificate.
Oh,
I don't know how much. I forgot
amazing.
what she said.
So when we get our vaccine cards, I wonder what Paul's gonna give us, Babs. Come on, incentives.
Paul gonna give you a handshake and a smile. Good job. Good job. Good job.
Good job. I'm gonna be like, yeah, but I'm Hispanic and I got a shot. That's isn't that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I get
Okay.
something free.
So this is what I don't like when I read the comments. See, this is why
Guns believe
an informed populace is important, Harry, because everybody's going to whine about the amount of money that raised for an election, and I get it. I truly get it. But at the end of the day, when you're the candidate, you can't be swayed by that because you have to raise the damn money. I mean, what, Harry, you can say, "Oh, I don't like to raise this money." Well, then don't run for office because, as it stands, it takes money to run, and until we change that, voting citizens, committed voting citizens. When you want something different, you create something different. Don't talk about it, be about it. That's all I'm saying, Harry. Everyone's like, oh, it's a shame. We have to, if you want to run for office, you got to raise money. Why is it a shame? Okay, what are you going to do about it? What do you want to do about it? You and your little friends sitting around drinking your martinis.
Yeah, I don't know about.
And they're both trying to qualify Harry for the public money. But Harry, public money is not enough. It just doesn't. I mean, it doesn't go far enough. So they have to opt out of that sometimes. But you do what you can. But that's just what it is. You know.
Especially, it's different if you're living outside of the box, right? This is norm. This is the norm in politics. You raise money. Your goal is to raise a lot of money. I don't begrudge anybody for that. You do what you have to do to get elected. Um, I don't know why people have problems with it, but
Ah,
I think they'll have problems with with anything. I don't even know
well,
who I want to win yet.
for between Elliker and DuBois Walk. Well, I mean, listen, uh, I love a good race,
Yeah, I like
and
debate.
I love. I mean, that is the cornerstone of any good democracy is a free and fair election. So I'm for it. I'm for that, and I want to see that. And listen, I, I, as someone who has run for office and who has won, it is not easy. I don't care whether you run for the board of aldermen or board of ed or mayor or senate or state rep or whatever the hell. It is not easy. It takes a lot of time and commitment and listening to people run their mouths about ish they don't know nothing about, and they want to drag you into their foolishness, and you got to be, a model candidate and entertain all kinds of foolishness from people. And the majority of people are not that bright, and they don't know the process, and so they bring up ridiculous things. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I had to listen to people talk about damn trees in Beaver Hill. Trees are important, but unless you're gonna buy that property where those people are cutting down a tree on their property, shut up.
Yeah,
Or you know what? Y'all raise the money and buy their house, and you can keep the tree up all you want. Stupid stuff like that. Or they don't like the fences. Oh, everybody's putting up fences. Well, that's people have little kids. They want them to play in the backyard. They don't want them running out. They need a fence. Or they have a dog. Or they just said the other thing. I just don't understand. People want everything to be open and, you know, okay, all right, I get it. But we live in a city. It's not the suburbs. It's a city. And so,
wow. The AP just reported that the South Carolina shooting,
yeah,
um, that happened, killed five. The shooter was a former NFL player.
the shooter.
Yeah. Wow. That is strange.
And what's his problem?
I don't know. I got to read the article. But the AP is reporting NFL player Philip Adams killed five, then himself.
Was he what? Did they say why? Like, what was his? Did they say what his beef was? Like,
Um,
no. Harry. At some point, uh, we're gonna have to deal with.
well, the NFL is a different issue because if they get concussions and everything, there,
Well,
they
yeah, your brains.
that
But
syndrome.
but here's the thing, Harry. We have to at some point we have to deal with the guns issue in this country, and people don't want to. They find it hard, but we could do hard things. We could do hard things, Harry. We're gonna have to come to reckon with this gun. And as I say to people all the time, I'm still stuck. Um, I'm still here in Connecticut with the babies being killed in their school. I'm still stuck there. I've not moved past that moment, Harry. All the shootings that have happened since, I've not moved past that moment. I've not moved past it. I'm still stuck right there.
You talk about Sandy Hook, right?
That happened, and we just said, oh well, those poor babies. And now, Harry, those babies would be teenagers right now. They would be going off to high school and in high school, right? Enough time it will have passed. It's right. They would be almost grown people. So you know, I don't have any faith in humanity when we cannot reconcile.
Yeah, you see, he suffered multiple concussions in the NFL.
Yeah,
So
and
it's gonna be It's gonna
and
be interesting once they do the autopsy whether he has
had all that brain
MS.
damage.
Yeah.
And you know, Harry, everybody that has had their brain looked at has had that damage. And the NFL needs to be better about that. Like they really need to come to Jesus on that and say, and or listen, a couple of things they could do. They need to acknowledge that this is a problem and be upfront with it, and then pay people what they need to be paid to make them whole or to support their health in the end. Stop denying this, or people should just stop watching football. If football players say, you know what, until these conditions change, we're not playing. Until our health is taken into consideration, we're not playing. Because that will make them move, Harry. Because that's a lot of money on the table.
Well, I know they did reach a deal with all of that stuff a couple of years ago. Um, and there's new protocols to remove all of these people when they get concussions. It's just, a lot of these people, I guess, fall within that range where, or a lot of players don't say they're concussed because they want to just continue to play.
But now I don't think they have that choice anymore. I think doctors have that
Yeah,
choice. The
yeah.
doctors say, listen, you can't
Now they
play.
get pulled. Yeah, now they get pulled from the game. Um, so it's sad, but the thing is that people go, oh well, 50 years ago, this never happened. But the athletes of today, you know,
But we don't know
yeah,
50 years ago. I
well,
bet you if we go back 50 years ago, exhume those bodies of those athletes that have passed on, I guarantee you'll find way more brain damage than they are willing to
yeah, but the thing is that the
admit to.
athletes of today are much bigger and much faster. So when they're hitting each other, it's worse than a car collision. So it's totally different too. It's a totally different thing.
Well, I mean, I think today's athletes are in much better shape than athletes of
Yes,
yesteryear.
they're moving fast.
They're in much better shape than athletes of yesteryear. There's a real emphasis on strength and agility and all of that. So I get that part, but still, it's a deadly. I didn't. You know what, Harry? I didn't let my sons play football. I just didn't let them.
Hi, this is Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut.
I don't hear that. I hear that on your end, like it's in your room.
HLP
Oh,
103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org. Hi, this is Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org.
there you go. So yeah, but the athletes of today are 10 times stronger, 10 times faster. So when they hit you, it's like you've been in the car accident Tiger Woods just survived.
Well,
So it's it's insane. It's insane. So it is different. I don't know how they get around the. I mean, they've changed the rules too. If you lead with your helmet, uh, you know, you get you could get it's a foul, but you could get fined after the game and everything. So they're trying to create the rules that'll help these guys in the long run. Because right now, in the middle of their career, you see a huge shot that knocks out somebody, and everybody's impressed instead of worried. So it's interesting.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's here to stay. Listen, I'm just reading. I follow HBCU Connect. So Deion Sanders just brokered a partnership between PepsiCo and SWAC. And if you don't know what SWAC is, it's the league, the historically Black college league, where uh, Black colleges, like it's a football. You know what I'm trying to say.
I'm sorry, I was reading.
SWAC, CWAC, SWAC. Um, Deion Sanders is the head football coach at Jackson State, which is an HBCU, and so he just brokered a deal between PepsiCo and a partnership and sponsorship between Pepsi and SWAC, it's the SWAC, and that is it is what all the black colleges and participate in. It's a league or conference. So they play against each other, for the winner, that kind of thing, like the NCAA kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just like that, except black. So I'm telling you, so it's about to be on. It's about to be on, and as I said earlier, Jackson State is one historically black college. If the rest of the historically black colleges start getting these pro athletes, Harry, I'm telling you, that want to coach and give something back and do what Dion is doing, he's gonna give the NCAA team some run for their money.
It's the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Yes, Southwestern Athlete. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
SWAC is a collegiate athletic conference headquartered in Birmingham, Alabama,
It's a very southern thing.
which is made up of historically black colleges and universities.
Harry, let me tell you something. You have not lived until you've gone to a HBCU game in the SWAC conference. Like it's a whole mood, Harry. Like it's a whole mood. I don't even know how to explain it to you. It's the blackest black thing you ever want to go to. So I'm just saying. It's a whole mood, baby. It's a whole. Some of the best bands in the world are the black bands. Grambling, the Fighting 100 from Florida A&M, right? Grambling. Oh God, so many. Jackson State. Shoot. There's Howard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that deal with Pepsi is part of a racial equality initiative that they're doing.
Good. Yes. North Carolina has the most HBCUs. North Carolina A&T, NCCU, WSSU, ECSU, Johnson C. Smith University, Bennett, which is where my daughter went, Fayetteville State, Shaw, St. Augustine's, Livingston. I used to date a boy who played football for Livingstone College. Fine. I can't think of his name. I'm certainly, and if I remember it, I'm certainly not gonna look him up. I can't think of his name though. God, what was his name? He used to come see me all the time to my school. And I had a boyfriend, but yes, I had a boyfriend, but I had other boyfriends too.
Oh no, Babs.
I know I was terrible. Young.
Not you.
Yeah, I was young, Harry. Young, all those cute guys. I mean, what's a girl to do? Harry, Harry, you cannot put a candy lover in a candy store.
I've heard plenty of men use the same excuse. So
now I'm a different woman at 57, Harry. I don't play those kind of games. But at 19, oh Lord have mercy. 19, 20, that's what you should do at message. No, nobody should be in a serious relationship at 19, 20, 21. You should not be in a serious relationship until you're 30. And these young girls don't know. I'm here to tell you, Harry, you should not be, well, your case is different. You are the exception to the rule.
no, definitely.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I wouldn't recommend doing it the way we did it.
I'm just saying you're the exception to the rule that you all stick together. You tried it, you succeeded, and you're still together. There are a lot of young couples, Harry, that think this is what they should be doing at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. And they think, and then when the first bump in the road, because they're not mature enough to take this on, then they, then they retreat and they can't, you know, that's what I'm saying. You're the exception to that rule. Like, these young people, no, stop doing, stop it. Everything, every
Yeah,
long relationship it should end up in marriage, or you should not be that exclusive.
definitely not. I would recommend it. You're you got so much growth ahead of you. Why would
Yeah.
you do that to yourself? So no.
Well, they don't know. And then they get up with these boys, and some of these boys are nefarious, and so they just end up playing house. I'm like, y'all, stop it. I need y'all to do better. I'm glad uh, they live and learn. That's all I can say.
That's that's all you could say. That's all you could say. Because I'm saying the same thing. Like my daughter and her husband are looking to buy a house, and so they've been pre-approved for a large amount. And I told them, just because you're approved for that large amount doesn't mean you
That
go
means you go,
get a
yeah,
house worth that
don't
much.
do it. Don't be house rich and cash poor.
Yes. So I'm trying to get that in their head, but
I
you
know, but all you could do is let them live and learn, Harry.
that's it, live and
Because
learn.
what I know now, I would do it very differently. What I know now, Harry, I would buy, and I've owned 3, 4 houses in this town. I own, I still own property in this town, that I don't live in. I, if I had to do it all over again, I would do things very, very differently. I would do things
Absolutely.
differently. And that's the God's honest truth. I would, you know,
I totally understand. We would have also, and so all you could do is impart what you've learned,
what you learn, and then
pass
just
it on.
let it go. Seriously,
That's it.
because you cannot win, Harry. There's no winning in that. And what happens is you alienate them because they feel like you're just trying to tell them how to live their life.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to help you secure your future and not make pitfalls. But then you know what? It's their lives to make whatever of it that they wish.
Right. Right.
So yeah.
It's hard, but you have to bite your tongue and just
And
let
wish
them
them
live and learn.
well.
Yeah, let them live and learn.
Yeah, that's
Um,
it.
so so Babs, you're a science lover.
I am. Oh no, wait! Don't give me no craziness, Harry, because I
No
know you.
craziness. CERN, which is in Europe, that is the Large Particle Smasher, right? The
Yes,
collider.
yes.
Um, so they've discovered a new particle. Um,
Oh,
now
I think I
remember,
heard. I think I heard this, Harry.
yeah,
I think I
remember
heard this.
they discovered the God particle. Remember, years ago, the God particle is the Big Bang, the spark, right? Well, now they've discovered a. I think that the God particle is a um two quark particle, two or three.
What they're saying is it looks like this looks like it breaks down the known laws of physics. They're not
Yeah,
sure yet, though. They're not
well,
sure, but it's starting to look like that might be the case.
it does right. It looks like it's the case because this is a four quark
Yeah,
particle that they've never seen before.
right.
So it looks like what they did is they created a different universe. They
Oh,
created
I
their own.
know, Harry. Oh my God. Am I rich in the new universe? That's all I want to know.
So basically, in the quantum mechanics of it all,
Can I be rich in the new universe?
I don't know. But in the quantum mechanics of it all, what they did is they didn't create something. They've just discovered a quantum universe.
a fifth fundamental, force of nature.
Yeah, it's insane. And I'm trying to find the article that I read yesterday where they said, where are the monsters? you know,
Oh, because behind every new
That's
science
right.
discovery, there's monsters.
So they might be waking up Godzilla.
Harry, do you think monsters are offended by being called monsters?
I know. Well, right. They see us as ants when if they ever make their appearance in this universe, we're just gonna be the ants.
So I think monsters is unfair. You know why I think it's unfair? Because we're always the one doing the shooting and the killing, and by us I mean white people, because black people we're not the ones. In every scary horror movie or monster movie, Harry, we're never the ones shooting and killing people. You don't see Puerto Ricans killing monsters. You know what they want to know? They want to like, I think we could be friends.
No, if you see our telenovelas, it's all about love. It's all about the relationships. Too much. Too much. Slow down.
Intergalactic relationship, intergalactic love. We are about that love machine. All right, I feel you. I feel
So,
you.
but this, when I read this a couple of days ago, I had read it. I was just like, okay, Babs and I, we have too much fun on the radio, talking about this stuff, but it's like Babs says, if you see it in a movie, it's real. It's gonna happen.
Listen, I believe that movies are the best teachers of the masses. Movies are the best teachers of the masses, Harry. That's the only medium where you can get everybody on one page at the same time is a movie. Even if they don't understand what is happening, even if they don't believe it, they can't unsee it, Harry. That's why this is why I'm so not understanding why people are not understanding this pandemic, because they've seen the movies, Harry, how this ends. You know what I mean, Harry? Like they've seen all the Contagion movies, they've seen Will Smith. I mean, we've seen these movies.
Absolutely. And
these people act like they don't want to fight for humanity, Harry. They want to go to the beach and be in the restaurants and the bars. You never see that in the movies, Harry. What the hell? What movies are these people watching?
And let's not forget, the United States joined Canada in creating a zombie apocalypse protocol.
So, I would imagine you would have to.
Why would you have to? Because you saw it in the movies?
Well, no, it's your borders. You got to secure your borders.
No, but against zombies?
Well, yes. Everybody's got to pull their weight with the zombies, Harry.
That's right. Let me tell you. I remember Reagan had this speech at the United Nations that he said, maybe what we need is aliens coming from somewhere that would unite us against a different, it would unite the human race against a different, thing. I think what we need is zombies. Right?
You think that would unite us, Harry? I don't think so.
Doesn't it have to?
I don't know. Harry, listen, the pandemic is not uniting us. People don't want to wear masks. They want to.
Yeah, but when
a pandemic is as close to a monster among us than anything, Harry.
Hey.
Like, look how many people are dead, and people still want to like, you're infringing on my rights.
I tell you what, if it's the Walking Dead zombies, I think it would unite us.
Now, let me tell you something, Harry. If all those how many people have died? 5 million? How many people?
500. Well,
500,000 people. Now,
500,000 in America.
Okay, 500,000 people were dead in America. Tomorrow, Harry, if they all got up and were zombies, and I mean no disrespect to people's loved ones, I do not. Forgive me. I'm just trying to make the case. If people saw those people rise up and come back,
Thriller.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure that would be enough to make people be like, you know what? Let me get right.
You know what? With this new particle being discovered,
Oh, that's just gonna make people stupider and stupider,
but
Harry.
what if it brings back people, right? This new particle. What if
There are people I don't want coming back. I don't want Jack the Ripper to come back. I don't want Jeffrey Dahmer to come back. I don't want a whole bunch of people to come
no, but
back.
they would come back renewed as new people, right? So they'd just be like, I can't believe I did that. And you would have to forgive them.
No, I don't want that.
Um,
There's some people I'm not forgiving, Harry. You know what? I'm gonna send them to glory one more time. I'm gonna
no,
test that. I'm gonna test that alternate universe theory.
what if creating this or discovering this new universe, that's where the Antichrist exists? What if
No,
he's
listen. Let me tell you where the Antichrist is, Harry. I'm gonna solve this for you right now.
uh-oh,
The Antichrist is in you and me. The Antichrist is in us. We are the Antichrist. It is.
the
We
making
we we hold the balance between good and evil in all of us. There is no evil out there. The evil is within, just like the good is within. Every
also
day we're in the world, we make a choice. Harry, you make a choice whether you want to kill somebody or love somebody. You make a choice every
well,
single day.
you know what? Then we're doomed
We well, I I don't.
because everybody's giving in to the Antichrist. So
And I don't want to agree with you on a lot of levels, Harry, but sometimes I see instances where you're right. But, my friend, I see instances where I'm right, that love supersedes that.
I see
That I
less.
see I see kindness. I see small acts of kindness that defeat the greater those greater experiences of evil.
I don't know if I see genuine kindness like that. A lot of the stuff you see is staged. Um,
What do you mean stage? What do you mean?
a
I
lot of
just
it
saw
is
a little
staged.
kid. I saw a little kid the other day on Good Morning America who they made these little signs for their town to have people keep going because in their town they had a high incident rate of suicide and they wanted to do something. So these little kids made these signs that say, "I care about you."
That's
Keep
totally different. Those are little kids, and I do
But
see.
their parents had to help. Their parents had to sign off on that, Harry. The parents had to say, and then the mother wrote a book about it. I watched it on Good Morning. I mean, I don't think, no, I'm not going to go with the stage thing.
I see
I'm
a
not
lot of
going.
it being staged.
I'm not going with
Um,
that. See, I'm not that cynical because I'm a romantic at heart. I am a true romantic, and my friends are
and the
are
first
always
step.
calling me out on that because I am
Well, the
always
first step is
ready.
admitting. The first step is admitting it. I mean, and
Yes.
you're admitting your issue, your problem, your romantic.
But it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It is just something that I live with. And here's the other thing that I've learned about myself, Harry. I always think people are better than what they are. I do. I can't help it, Harry. I cannot help it. I always think people are better than what they are. And I just discovered that I was this way. I just discovered it. And I just discovered it. And I discovered it reading a particular horoscope, one of these horoscope things. I do. I can't help it, Harry. I just can't help it.
Or yeah, we're polar opposites there
No,
because
we are, but
I
not really, because you have a great wealth of love in you too. You just you just you have a great deal of love in you too. A lot.
but the thing is that I start off expecting that people um are gonna let me down. So if they
You
don't,
start off with people being trash.
right? So if they don't, I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised.
See, okay, I'll give you that, Harry. I will agree. You do start from that place.
Yeah.
And I start from, I just can't believe somebody would be that way with me. And when they are, I'm always stunned by it. And let me tell
Right.
you something, Harry. I appreciate being stunned every time that happens because that says to me that I still believe. I still believe in the goodness of people. even though people have hurt me. And I've seen a lot of hurt, and a lot of people have hurt me, like damn near tried to kill me.
Yeah, but you see,
So
your ending is more often probably tragic, right? Because these people hurt you. Me, if they hurt, they won't hurt me because I expected them to do that.
well, I don't know if I see, I
So,
don't know how to expect hurt, Harry. I
and
do
then
not know how to expect hurt. I
well, I don't
don't.
expect hurt. I just expect them to be trash, like you said. So I don't expect. So it doesn't matter what they do. And then if they do something good, I'm like, wow.
Harry, I don't know how to expect people to be trash. I don't know. I don't know how I don't know how to do that. That sounds so foreign to me. I can't imagine it. I just cannot imagine it. I can't now, don't get me wrong, Harry. I know people are trash. I've seen it. I've seen trash people. I've seen it. I've seen it. And I use the word trash because that's Marquisha's favorite word. Because Marquisha is like people are because Marquisha's more like you, Harry. People are she just has no faith in people are trash. Um uh
Yeah, it's
I, on the other hand,
you shouldn't start
I
with
don't know
faith.
what that is. And I think I get that from my mom. I
You
think
shouldn't
that's
start with faith in people. You put your faith in people, people will let you down every single
I don't
time.
know if they let you down every single time, Harry. I think
But
it's a
if
roll
you
of the
don't,
dice.
but if you don't put your faith in them, they'll surprise you.
I like to, I don't know. I feel like it's like parenting. You know, your children let you down all the time, right? They let you down, they make bad decisions. You just want to knock the crap out of them. But you love them. Like there's something about no matter how much they F up, you love them.
Yeah,
There's nothing that my and listen, I've got four very different children. And I like to think that that all four of them are aspects of my very unique personality. Um, and they each have done things that I just do not like about them or what they've done. All of them have done things that I just don't like. But I will never stop loving them, ever, 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 ever. Now I may not like what they do. I may condemn what they do. I may be mad at them and 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 everything, but I will never stop loving them. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. I mean, it's a totally different thing when you have a connection with somebody, right? Your kids, you can't help the connection.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. That's true. But you mean like the everyday person on the street or somebody you meet or
and
whatever?
I don't mean people like you and me. We have a connection. We count on each other. So
Harry, I trust you with my life.
that's what
I
I'm
tell you
saying.
all the time. Listen, if the world came to the end, let me tell you who's on my team. I'm gonna tell you right now, Harry Droves, my janky ass ex-husband. I
No,
put Andrew on my team. There's a bunch of people I put on my team. If the
definitely,
world came to an end,
definitely Andrew. We need his FEMA
we
connections.
need and whatever other connection.
That's right. No, but that's the thing. It's different when you have connections with people. It's a totally different thing. But I
Yeah,
mean,
but how do you get connections, Harry? Because listen, when I met you, Harry, you were very hands off, and I pressed you every single. No, you were like, I hate her if she doesn't stop with this. And I embraced you way before you embraced me, Harry. Like I had my arms around you way before you even trusted me, because I knew you were a good guy. Even though when I sometimes I get mad at you with some of the crazy stuff you'd say, it didn't stop the fact that I like Harry. I really I don't like Harry's politics, but I like him. And the more that I would talk to you and you would open up. It took you a minute to realize I think I like Babz.
yeah, I don't think she's trying to harm me here.
It took a minute. I remember when you crossed that bridge, when you let me hug you for your birthday. I was like,
Yeah,
and you
and
wouldn't let anybody else. And you were like, no, no.
and Karen was immediately, oh,
Yes,
I love Babz.
yes. I
And
loved her too.
yeah, she's like, you better be good to Babz. You better. And I was like, okay, because my wife is a really good judge of character also.
Yes.
And she, but she's quicker than I am, much quicker than I am. Me, I let everything slowly. It's a slow burn, Um, I don't have many people that I've let in that circle. I do have people I like that I would let into the circle.
Huh?
Um, if if there was more quality time around people, I have people I like that I would let in. Um, but it takes quality time spent. We've spent plenty of quality time with each other in the studio, so it's
Yeah,
actually
but Harry, you spend quality time with other people too in the studio, and you don't have this same regard. I'm sorry.
no, you're
Not
right.
not not for people who work here. I'm just saying people who come back, recurring
Oh,
people.
you're right. You're right. It's a totally different thing. But that's what I mean. But also, I let you within that wall, so it's different. I don't want a lot of people. I don't want to let that close. It's just that's real. That's the real.
Oh my gosh, that is too funny.
And people have wondered,
Oh, I
especially,
know. I get it all the time. I get two questions all the time, Harry. What's Harry really like? How do you? When they hear your politics, like when you were doing your show, like you would be on my show, and they hear you on my show, and they love, love, love. It's like, oh, he's like a teddy bear. Oh, Harry is so good. Blah, blah, blah. And then they'd be like, oh, I want more of that. So they go to your show, and then I get the calls. Every time, Harry, it never fails. Babz, do you know? I remember when Andrew, he's like, I listened to it. He's like, I listened to him a couple of times. Like, Babz, is that really Harry? Does he really believe?
you know what's funny? Betsy Kim, when I first started doing her show and everything, she was like, "You, you're outrageous. You're frustrating me. She was screaming at me all the time, and but I think she realized too that I'm not a bad guy. She was like, I love talking to you. I just love talking to you.
Yeah. And she
It's,
listens to us all the time.
yeah.
Hey, Betsy Kim.
Hey Betsy, I like Betsy
I like Betsy too. And
because
she'll
also the reason I like certain people is like you were real from the get, real, and real appreciates real. So and Betsy too. Betsy was just like real with me from the get go. So I could appreciate people who are vulnerable enough to be real.
Yeah. What are you listening to in the background? Somebody
That's
talking about cholesterol.
that's Karen.
Oh.
She's dealing with stuff, for her mother's doctors.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I thought it was a TV. I was like, are you watching a daytime show? Are they talking about cholesterol? Oh no, that's all right. Oh no, no. Tell her to take care of her mother. That's
No, yeah, that's
important.
why she's off today because she had to take care of stuff for her mother.
No, that's important. That's important. That's important.
Yeah. So it's a totally different thing, and and there's been people who've gotten jealous that I do.
Oh, I know.
Why my relationship with you is different.
I know. I know. They come at me too.
It's like,
I'm just like, I listen. I don't got no insight.
yeah, it's like, yeah,
Listen. I guess because I do the show with him every single day for 2 hours.
and
Sometimes he's here. Sometimes he's with me. Sometimes he's not. But for the most part, he's here. We
it's
do it
not just
together.
that, but it's not right. It's not just that. Plenty of people, like you said, plenty of people do shows with me. It's not just that. You have to fit into my scheme here. So I like my like of people isn't based on religion, politics, none of that stuff. It's about the person, the real person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been a good week to come back. Next week, guests will start showing back up. Dr. Brown will be on next Tuesday talking about, I just enjoy Dr. Brown so
Yeah,
much. He's one of the
that's a
smartest
really
men.
that's a really good series that you're
I
having.
I, I just love him, Harry, because he breaks it down in a real way. Although he scares the mess out of me, because I really feel like, damn, we are doomed.
I've read some of his stuff that's edgy and stuff. I mean, I just love people who put it out there, whether I
Yeah,
agree with you or
he's
not.
got a piece in the Connecticut Post in a Mirror or somewhere that he's allowing me to run in the inner city next week because I missed it when he told me about it. I couldn't get it in the paper for this week, but I'll put it in the paper for next week, which is fine because it's fine. But yeah, so I can't wait to read it. He sent it to me last night, so I can't wait to read it and then and see if he wants to talk about it on Tuesday. But yeah, I mean, I got some good guests coming up. I've got my neighbor, my old neighbor, Dr. Margreta Seashore. She is one of the first women to graduate from Yale. She's a doctor. She retired a few years back. So she's going to be one of my guests next week. I'm looking forward to talking to her. I'm going to try to get Connie Royster back on because I adore Connie Royster. She was another woman, first woman to attend Yale in that class of Yale people. She was in the law school. Greta was in the medical school. So I'm looking forward to having people come back on and talk, just do what we do here, talk about things in depth. Take a long view over a particular article. There's some people that I really would like to talk to, so I got to go back and look at all my notes and all the contacts, people that I had on the back burner, so that we can start talking to people again, having guests on, you know. And the Great Give, Harry. The Great Give is coming up.
Oh dear Lord, the great give. I know you and Paul enjoy that. It's
I do.
yeah. So yeah, I'm a vaccines person, so for me it's cake. It's you guys that got to put the time in with guest after guest after guest after guest. So you're in it for the long haul with the great give.
Yeah.
That's cool.
However long Paul sets it up.
Yeah. We had a really great great give last year. That was we they actually collected more donations than they ever have. So
Yes. I mean, but it was terrifying last year, Harry, because
yeah,
we didn't know what to make of this damn pandemic. It was like, what is happening?
yeah.
Now I have to listen to people whine about how fatigued. I gotta get out of my house. Like, no, you don't. Sit still. Because this UK variant, Harry, is a bigger killer. Oh,
Well, yeah, it's not just that variant. There's a few variants out there. We got it's like what you call it Russian roulette there with the variants. But I mean, they're saying that the vaccines are working pretty well with
yeah,
the variant.
yeah.
So
We just got to get people vaccinated.
right, that's the key thing is getting vaccinated, getting to the herd immunity
Yeah,
level. But we need people to go get vaccinated,
we do.
and Connecticut has made it easier than ever to get vaccinated.
I
So
know. I love that we did that. Harry, there are states that are making it difficult, like that stupid state of Florida.
this,
I'm like,
this
they are a hot spot, Harry, and they're making it hard. I'm like, why? I don't understand that concept. I don't understand that at all. And they've got more elderly people than anybody.
yeah, I think they've reached because they started with the elderly over there. But here in Connecticut, it's amazing the job that they're doing. The problem is the people's willingness to go get vaccinated. Go
Yeah.
get vaccinated.
Well, listen, today they're doing the FEMA pop-up clinic with the Johnson and Johnson one time only shot is on the green today and tomorrow. Harry, I got on the when the phones opened at 7 o'clock. I was on the line, and I should have did it yesterday when I got the first notice because I really wanted to do that one. But I, dragged my feet. Um, they were all booked today and tomorrow. So, but when I called the Vans people, the site, they found me a site in Naugatuck for tomorrow. Like, well, if you want to drive, you can get your first shot, and then you can come back in 4 weeks and get your second shot. So I was like, you know what, that's fine. I'm not going to wait until I get a New Haven spot. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I have the ability to drive, I think I would prefer to do that so that people who can't can get that shot here. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah,
how I'm it.
that's the one. I'm trying to get the Johnson and Johnson, find the spot where I could take my mother. Still trying to convince her to get her shot. So I'm thinking if I could find the spot where it's just a one shot deal, so I don't have to bug her for the second dose.
Did you sign her up did you search the site? Because there's a site that's a really good site. That's what I got on this
Yeah,
morning.
the Vams.
Yeah. So
Um,
just start there. But the thing with the Johnson and Johnson one, they never know when those are. They seem to be more pop up.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know
I know.
because
Everywhere I've searched, at least in the Waterbury area, it's all Pfizer. So
yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, so
That's because Pfizer is here, right? So you know, I know because it's hard, but you know what? Maybe you can, if you do the sweet thing, Harry, take her to lunch, and then
and
take her to
sneak it
lunch in 4 weeks.
and just surprise her. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
this
mom, this is what we're gonna do. Because you already had your 2 shots, right? No, your second one is
no,
coming.
yeah, my second one is next weekend.
Yeah, I'm just ready to get it over with now. So I just want to get it done. And now that my doctors have given me the okay, I'm like, all right, let me just do it. Let me just get it done, and hopefully I'll survive it.
Yeah, I mean Karen got hers. I think it's Friday or Thursday of last week, and she got some arm soreness and a a massive headache the next day, but that was it.
Yeah, so I'm glad that I'm doing mine on a Friday. So if I do have some symptoms, I could just chill out for the weekend, and I don't have to be,
Yeah, I think
interrupting my
mine's is on a
flow.
I think mine's is on a Saturday, so I should be good.
Yeah,
It's either Friday or Saturday.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds like a plan.
I mean, yeah, and when I went, they gave me an appointment to set the 5th um at 12:30 in the afternoon, right? 12 noon. And I got to the clinic at 11, right? Thinking I'm going to get on a huge line and everything. And I was watching people go in and out, and I'm like at about 11:45 I said, "You know what? I'm just going to go in and register." And they said, "What time's the appointment?" I said 12:30. They're like, "Oh, don't worry. We're everything's moving so fast. You could just get in line." And I had my shot walking in. It was like within 10 minutes I had the shot. Then you wait the 15 minutes of evaluation, and then they let you go. It's pretty quick.
Mm, mm-hmm.
It was pretty quick. They were moving like a well-oiled machine over here. Well,
Mm.
in Prospect, I went and got it in Prospect. So, but they were moving like really quick, and then they gave me my appointment quickly. So, I think I don't know if people are afraid of shots and stuff like that, but it's such an easy process. I should have taken cameras, have somebody videotape it. But I didn't even feel it, Babs, because when I'm in a public place, my social anxiety is out of control. So I see everything that's happening in the room. It could be a 100-foot room, and I'm looking at the little nook and cranny in the corner. I'm seeing everything. My social anxiety gets crazy. So she stuck me with the shot. I didn't even know. She's like, that didn't hurt. And it didn't even bleed. She's like, you don't even need a band-aid. I was like, yeah, yeah. Oh, well, I guess if you gave me the shot. She's like, of course I gave you the shot. You didn't feel it? I'm like, honestly, no. I was so out there.
Listen, as much needles as I've had since this surgery, I don't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
You know, I just saw this story on Yahoo, Harry. A split second of madness. A New York teen dies by suicide after a cyber bully used pics to blackmail him for $3.5 thousand. The family said. Harry, you know, I wish these babies would understand that this cyberbullying, that I just wish I could intervene in these things because there's nothing that anybody could blackmail me with. Because you call me with some foolishness, I'd be like, go for what you know, bruh. You got naked pictures of me, you better put them out there because I'd be wanting to see them too. Or if you got me saying some ridiculous thing, tell me when I said it, and I could tell you I was a different person then. I don't, these young people, I just feel for them, Harry. I feel for these young people that feel like they get boxed into these corners and they think the only way out is to kill themselves. And I know what it's like, Harry, because I've stood in a place of suicide. I've attempted it, and so I know. But for a lot more bigger issues than somebody got some pictures of me and they're gonna threaten me and my family with them. I'm like, come on.
Well, and I think, it's also suicides are up in the young population during the COVID stuff. So, um, I just think they're in a different mental state right now. That's why all the adults and everything, people need to get vaccinated so that these young people could start living their lives. Um, because you may be, if you're a older person and you're saying, oh well, I'll just stay inside, I won't do this. Well, that may be good for you, but all of these young people need to socialize. They need to do stuff together.
Yeah.
So it's insane. And I know it's depression going around. We have plenty of nieces and nephews who have been remote learning for so long, and some of them are eager to go out and do, like Bella's eager to just do stuff with people. Bella's a people person. But then other I have a nephew who's now doesn't know how to go back into the world. He's like,
Yeah.
no, yeah, he's like, I'll stay so remote learning and all this. And it's like, why? He's like, I was always awkward in the
In the
world.
classroom, in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like,
So, uh-huh.
it's a hard thing that they're all suffering through.
Yeah. These babies are having a tough time. I mean, they really are. But to be bullied, cyber bullied I don't understand the cyber bullying because I just feel like I would just block you and get the hell off my. But they keep coming, right? They keep coming.
Yeah.
But that would make me just get off and just go do something else. But that's just me. I'm an adult. I don't know. A mind of a kid is different. You just think this is your whole world and this is your whole world. So I don't.
It is.
I'm not trying to judge this child. I'm not making judgment about these children. I'm just saying we've got to be better humans to these babies. Like they should not be killing themselves because somebody is like, I'm gonna show these pictures to people, and you're gonna be and that level of embarrassment is gonna just be crippling to you.
Yeah, and the problem is now with technology, you could blackmail somebody with something they never did.
I have listen, anybody blackmail me. Listen, first of all, I don't have any money. You can put whatever you want out there. I done been through it all. And I'm not inviting it. Listen, I'm not inviting stress. I'm not trying to invite nothing. I done had to walk of shame. Listen, there's nothing else I could do.
Right. And I mean, the thing is like I was saying with deep fake videos, you could put somebody's face on something.
Yeah.
And you were never there. You were never there.
And so many predatory people.
Yeah.
I mean, so many predatory people for children. you know, Harry, that is a real sickness.
Right.
Oof.
That's another thing, right? So the way like Bella's now able to message with her friends and everything. But we got it like really restrictive, and she gets upset that, you know, that it takes her friends' parents being involved in order, but because these predators are in the children's apps.
They are, and they talk to these children in their language,
Yeah,
right? They're not like me talking to Bella as an adult. They're talking to Bella like Bella's peers,
right.
right? And so, you know, Harry, that is scary. That stuff is scary stuff. And they lure these kids out, and these girls, these boys, and they think they just, you know, and they know how to do it, Harry. It doesn't take weeks. It takes months of this conversation,
Yeah,
you know, of gaining trust. Because these kids have heard all of us say, be careful, don't give your information to people. So they know that stuff. But somebody over months, Harry, talking to you,
yeah,
checking in, starting to get you start telling them about your family life. They check in. Oh, well, how is your dad? And oh, blah blah blah. And then they start sharing some personal stuff. I mean, you know, they're very good at this.
yeah, yeah. And that's exactly, you know, we try to explain it to Bella and everything because the it is there's like a triple verification process for everything. So by the time she wants to speak to a friend, it's been a week because a parent has to actually verify.
Go in and sign up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if a parent is oblivious to the whole thing, it's like, oh,
And there are parents, because
yeah,
hence why it's not quick.
yeah. So Bella gets frustrated with that, but you know, it's a necessity. You have to do it. You
Yeah,
have to do it. I mean,
gotta do it. Yes. Let's protect our babies. All right, it's the end of the road. I'm back tomorrow, Harry. Friday.
do we have a criminal justice tomorrow? Oh
Wait,
no,
is tomorrow criminal justice? Wait.
it was last.
No. It's the first and third. So next week,
Okay.
the 16th would be criminal justice.
No, I know it was last week. I didn't know if he moved it to this week.
Oh, he didn't move it. I don't let him move it. We're like, no, we're not doing that. We'll keep to the schedule. So we'll be back.
All right. So
All right, Harry, have a good day. Go get in these streets, do some walking, because I got to get to walking a little bit more. But I still feel good, so I got to get out and exercise, walk. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, Karen.